I've been thinking a bit, and if you are struggling for finding paint at home, I've decided to find a different one. I've been brewing these for a little while now, and I just opened the pantry and found some tea bags. So we have some bushels of Blue Label, which is ordinary tea. Over here, this one was a bit weak, so I used 2, peppermint and herbal, and I think that's peppermint too. My personal favourite, which is raspberry and strawberry. This one here is coffee. Made it quite strong. Smells really good. And over here, I've got some lemon and ginger. This one's plain water. If I had green tea, that would also work, I'm pretty sure. But I actually don't like green tea, so I haven't got any in the pantry, but you might have. So I've mixed these up in little containers with some boiling water, just like you would make a cup of tea. But I've made them really strong because we want a really strong pigment for our paint. So I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to show you some of the colour swatches that you might get using these teas and coffees instead of paint. So first up we have, this is coffee, really thick dark coffee, and you get quite a nice dark pigment. And just like watercolour, if you were to add a little bit more water, you'd end up with a lighter colour. Okay. This one is our raspberry and strawberry, which will give you a really nice red, picky colour. Now, like I said, you need to make these quite strong in the brew, otherwise you won't get that really strong pigment. This is our peppermint, which is just sort of a bit of a lighter colour. I reckon the green tea would be better for that. Ordinary tea, good old bushels, gives you a bit of a yellow hint. And our lemon and ginger, I'm not sure if that's really going to work very well. Yeah. So obviously our best ones are the raspberry and the coffee, but the others are good for some tonal variation as well. So what I'm going to do now is do a couple of little paintings with my tea and coffee paints to show you what you might be able to do at home. So I'm just using ordinary watercolour paper. You could use your sketchbooks. And keeping in with the theme of tea and coffee, I'm going to do some little tea and coffee cups. This technique I'm going to do is just painting straight on, I'm not using a pencil. I'm really going to challenge myself here and really just working the outlines of the coffee cups using my paints, or my tea and coffee as they are. When you're using watercolour, or if you're using tea and coffee, the best way to get a effect like this here is to wet the paper first, or have a really wet brush. And to create white, because I don't have white tea, although you could put milk with it, but I think that would be gross, you could use white paint if you had any, but what I'm just going to do is leave that paper white and that show through. So there's a little teacup there. We're going to make another one down here with our raspberry and strawberry. So I'm really just thinking about the shapes of the cups. I'm just doing this from my head. I haven't got any references here at the moment. It smells really good. That coffee is really strong. Actually don't like coffee to taste, but to smell is divine. So here's a little fancy cup. Might add a little bit of ordinary tea. Add some colour. Maybe a saucer for this one. So I'm just using an ordinary paintbrush and pretty much working the same technique as you would with watercolour, although they're quite mixed already. You could even add less water to make these more pigmented. I'd almost recommend that. I really like this colour. coffee again. Give it a little handle. Cute one. Okay, so I've given that a quick dry with the hairdryer just so I can keep filming, but you can always let it just dry. And you can see how that tea has created these beautiful pigments in the paper with some really nice dark chocolate browns through here where the coffee was used. I really love how this purple has dried from the strawberry and raspberry tea. There it is there, my favourite. It's created some beautiful pinks and purples, and I love how they've mixed throughout this one here. And that's basically just using tea and coffee, something that you already have in your pantry. Now what I'm going to do now is use my fine liner like my previous video and create some detail over the work. You could use a fine liner, you could use a pencil, you could leave it as it is if you like. I like to go over things and create some detail, pattern, give them a little bit of whimsy. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. sketch of some little coffee cups and teacups using literally tea and coffee. That's all I've used, and fine line. And there's what I used again, just to remind you. So our teas, our coffees, they're brewed quite dark now. You could always go over it again if you wanted to add some more pigment, but that's all I used. And it's amazing what you can do and how you can make art out of just about anything you can find. I hope you enjoyed my video. Bye!